I have to say, although we here as a building were closed, but we've never been busier. I've never been busier in my life as I am now. I smile as I share with you sometimes when people keep telling me, well, I've cleaned my house 10 times now, and I'm saying to myself, well, I've made, pets of my dust bunnies. I've given them names. I haven't got that time. And so it's kind of like that for us all. We're all in different spaces and different places, and we all have different calls upon us and so forth. But in this, I will say, no matter what we're doing, what we're not doing, we are capable of making a difference, making a contribution, and we are very capable of raising the energy on this planet so that the scientists can find that cure, so that the research can be done to come up with, what is needed to help people who are suffering from this virus and other things too. We can do that in our homes, under our own roofs. We can see it, we can vision it, we can see it happening. And we can put that conviction into that. We can. We can be anything we decide to be, imagine ourselves to be, choose to be, because that's within us. That is within us. But we do have to go beyond the egoic mind. You see, we never get into higher... Seek ye first the kingdom and all its righteousness, and then all things else will be added unto you. And that means go beyond egoic mind. Move into higher conscious awareness, because it is within higher conscious awareness that the kingdom of self-realization is. And once we're there, then we know deep within ourselves how to manifest whatever good our focus, our vision, our imagination, our intention is centered on. We absolutely can, but don't take my word for it. You have to go and research this yourself. Research means practice the process until you're able to transcend the egoic mind and enter into that superconscious awareness of all being well. Of all being well is a simple way to put it. Because if you and I can enter into that arena, that realm, for seconds, it's enough so that we know all is well indeed. And we have the experience of all being well. And once we've had an experience, you can never deny it. And it's always there. And so when you come back to terra firma, so to speak, when you're back in the three-dimensional world with all of its beauty and craziness, you're able to know there's more than this, because this is not the real thing. There's so much more than this. And I know all of life is in the evolutionary process of getting into the more, evolving into the more, transforming into the more, and then transcending, and then transfiguring as the more, like Christ that Jesus did when he was on Mount Tabor, and he'd gone through the transformation and the transcendence into transfiguration, where he was just one with the light that is. And his closest friends could see it very plainly and clearly, and more than that, they could feel it. So what is it you want in this Wednesday, in this wonderful day, the beginning of a new month? The beginning of a new anything is an invitation to you and to me to begin anew as well. As soon as you wake up in the morning and open your eyes, there's an invitation for newness. I want to be new today, we could say to ourselves. I'm going to be new today. I am a new creation today. I woke up, so that's my invitation. Be whatever you want to be when you awaken. And you're not going to get there, and I'm not going to get there by just willing it. Will won't do it. I have to be in process. I have to be in practice. I have to be in training. Like anybody who wants to become an expert in anything, They have to start at the beginning. They have to go through a training process. And then they have to keep renewing their skill. How do you get to Carnegie Hall? Practice, 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 practice is always the answer. So I'm delighted when we have these opportunities to come together. And I would please implore each one of you, and those who will look in later, hopefully, to engage, to connect, to pursue, to educate, to come together so that together we can grow, we can learn, we can advance deeper and deeper back into the true self of ourselves. That's why engagement is important. So I encourage those of you who are slow to get into, the technology that will help us to be close together. Please make the endeavor. It's so well worthwhile. And if you need help with that, call in. We'll find a way to help you to connect virtually. Zoom calls are amazing parlors, so to speak, wherein we can get together. And it's a simple process once you've learned how to do it. So please get in touch with us and let us know if you would like to do that. All it takes is a phone, for heaven's sakes. You only need a phone for this. You don't have to have even an iPad or a computer. It just means your picture is smaller, that's all. But you can hear, you can participate, and you can see people. So I call upon us all to do that, because these are acute times. These are imminent and urgent times. These are times for us all to be awake and alert and paying attention and taking care of each other. As we have so many times had the opportunity, those of us who are out in the world, to remind people, I'm not wearing the mask to protect myself. I'm wearing this mask to protect you so that you can feel safer. So as we are asked to tighten the belt again until we get better results, please comply. Please know that's one beautiful way you can serve at the moment. And be cautious, be careful for your own well-being and the well-being of everybody else too. That's truly a spiritual practice, if ever there was a spiritual practice. And when we come together like this, I often wonder, well, what is imminent? What needs to be shared? And then I say, well, I don't have to figure it out, Spirit. You figure it out. What do you want us to really focus on today? And you wouldn't believe what came up. I have 2 little books here at the moment, but this was very early in the morning. I have usually some books around. My bed is big enough to have books coming down one side, and they're my companions. I sleep with my companions, my books. And so if I wake up in the night or something like that and I can't go back to sleep again, which is rare, I'll just grab a book and I'll read it. So in the wee hours of the morning, I grabbed this one. It is one by Eric Butterworth. And it's called Post Trends. And it's to do with the present time today. And I usually, when I just open it up and whatever page comes to me, and this is the page that came to me when I opened it up to be shared with you today and for me to note myself today. And it has to do with, I put my offering in the page to keep it open. Here's what it says. This is what we're supposed to be paying attention to at the moment. All right. If you want to make the truth work for you, you must seriously take this matter of word toxins and study them. You must set a seal upon your lips and refuse to contribute even the smallest negative word to any conversation. Difficult in this day and age especially. But this is what you and I are called to do today, via spirit mail. If you can change the subject, do so. You might even come prepared to turn to some topics that will lend themselves to positive conversations. Otherwise, just keep silent. The words you speak are not simply throwaway items. They are the visible overshadowing of the universal creative process. Of course, words have no power of themselves. It is our feelings and beliefs that are the energizing power. Watching what we say, what we really want to say, not what we are impetuously led to say from force of habit, is crucial. And becoming aware of the feelings that trigger words. So we're just being, all of us can do this. This is something you and I can all do. I mean, it doesn't take any great endeavor. I don't have to go out of myself to do this. I can watch my words at home, wherever I am, or even when I'm in my own company. Generations of let it all hang out, permissiveness, have left us as a society with a legacy of profanity. Words of profanity, especially those of the four-letter variety, actually inject into the system of the user and into the atmosphere of the planet a high level of toxicity. Those who sincerely wish to achieve fully functioning lives and a world fit to live in will carefully try to erase all profanity from their speech. It not only misrepresents us, but it leads to poor communication. And he goes on, and it's a great chapter, this on the toxic effect of words. He goes on to say, I want to suggest that you embark on a program of detoxification of the poisonous effect of negative and profane words. You will especially need to take stock of the many negatives that are part of your habit patterns of speech. Now, what are negative words? They are words that identify you with and as sickness, lack, inharmony, fear, hate, evil, and the list goes on. They are words that identify us with and as that which we really do not want to see manifested in our lives. Don't think it and you won't feel it. If you don't think it and you won't feel it, it cannot be in your life. If it's not in your mind, it's not in your life. It's not in your mind. If it's not in your conviction, your feeling, can't be in your life. It's only what we focus on. It's only what we give energy to that gets manifested. So don't think it, don't feel it, and it dissipates itself. It disappears from your life. It doesn't exist. Isn't that amazing? I mean, gosh, that is pure, undiluted wisdom. If you and I could just grasp that, my gosh, our lives would be transformed by the renewal of your mind. Well, if you want to be transformed by the renewal of your mind, and I do too, well, toxic words are not going to help, and toxic feelings either. It's never going to happen that way, is it? Now, this is far from what I wanted to contemplate first thing this morning. I thought, oh, gee, I want something lovely, something nice. But this is what we're supposed to look at, I guess. And I took it to heart. And then I said, okay, well, my work is cut out for me, I have to say. It's difficult not to think at all in any kind of negative way because it's such an unconscious habit with us now that we don't even know we're doing it. So, yeah, I'm going to have to dig some deep trenches and ditches to be able to clear that stuff out. But I'll endeavor, and I'm trusting you will too. And he said another thing, don't dwell in onlyness. Give thanks for the inner flow of abundance. There is the toxicity of but. You may say, I know my body temple has the unique capacity to heal itself, but he says, it is a case of faith limited by this little word, but. Another one is, I'm afraid. I'm afraid there is not enough. What is enough time? The only time is now. Picture yourself, as always, within earshot of a voice-activated recorder. All your conversation and offhand comments are caught on this tape recorder. As you can notice, this was written in the 70s, tape recorder. Replaying the tape, you will be amazed at the number of direct or implied negatives that are in your speech flow. You know, he goes on and on and on about the necessity of good speech. And as I say, it's not exactly delightful reading for any one of us, but it's important for us to pay attention there. Because I don't know about you, but of recent times, especially, well, more than recent times for me, I find that when I hear those words, those profane or negative words, whatever way you want to label them, it kind of jars on me, because having done some research, every word has a tone, and every tone can be beauteous and melodious and mellifluous and uplifting and so on, or it can be dissonant, it can be heavy, it can be noisy, and it can drain us of energy. And I remember thinking, well, gosh, I don't want to be putting that kind of energy out into the universe, because once you speak a word, it's out there forever. Never goes away, that energy. It's there. And enough of us then have to come up with more affirmative energy that keeps the negative stuff at bay, so that the negative energy doesn't overpower the affirmative energy. And that will never happen, because it never has happened. It never will happen, because good will always overcome what is its opposite, and the light will always overcome the darkness. And history has proven that throughout the ages, that in the end, good always triumphs. And that's a great comfort and joy for us all to know. So that's one practical way that you and I can contribute to life and living on this planet, is to watch our words, watch our speech, watch our thoughts and what we're thinking. And again, this concentration on affirmative thought and affirmative speech and affirmative feeling will certainly keep us from being hasty in our judgments, being hasty with our criticisms, being hasty with our definitions of negativity, being hasty to and arrogant enough to think that we know what somebody else is really thinking, feeling, saying, being, and doing, without research, without engagement, without clarification. So that we can begin with under our own roof. For heaven's sakes, look at families. Some families, when they get together, it's not all, I tell you, wine and roses, that's for sure, necessarily. There's always somebody who's going to upset the apple cart in certain families. Not all families, but in certain families. And it's okay for us to have a person in the family that gets on our last nerve. They are our best teachers. They are the people that gives us the opportunity to grow. We can't grow one iota for the people who love and adore us. They love and adore us, doesn't matter what. So we're not going to have any growth opportunities around those people. But it's the ones who really push our buttons that give us that opportunity to really and truly advance. So I'm not sure what's going on in your life today, but whatever it is, remember, you have a decision to make about it. You have the power over your thinking and feeling regarding what that is. And you can bring healing where healing needs to be. You can release and let go of what's not working for you. You can change your mind about this and that and the other, and fortify yourself then with what? With faith. With faith in the divine providence, with faith in the moreness, the greatness, the power and the presence of that which is within you and within every single thing. And trust it. And that's what faith is, isn't it? It's absolutely staying strong in your belief and in your feeling of equanimity when there's no evidence to prove that what you're believing is so. That's what faith is all about. And faith is only necessary when you and I get jittery. That's all. It's then we have to pull it up and pull it out of our spiritual toolkit and say, do I believe or don't I believe? Is this all a nonsense? Am I wasting my time? Am I just wishful thinking about this, that, and the other? Am I just hoping it is so? We've got to take something and really hold on to it with a solid grip, a firm grip, and know that it is so. And prove then that it is so by your staying with it, supporting it, affirming it, and not letting go of your belief until your belief becomes a knowing. And once you know, that's it. Know it once, you'll always know it. So stay open and receptive. Remember the scriptures say, the Lord is my light and my salvation. Of whom should I be afraid? What should I fear? Because the Lord is my light and my salvation. Well, we know in metaphysics, Lord equals law. The law, the power and the presence is my light and my salvation. Since that's the case, why am I afraid of anything? I don't have to be, because the presence, the power for good in the universe greater than everything it created, is right where I am, is with me. I can think through it. I can feel through it. I can act through it. I can allow it to be in my mind, to be in my heart, to be in my life, to be in my body, to be in the great body of my affairs. And I can allow it to go before me and prepare the way. I can allow it to do the work by means of me. If I get out of its way, out of my egoic mind, and know I of myself do not and cannot do anything. It is the goodness, it is the love, it is the light, it is the life within me that is good by means of me. That's all. And when that happens, it's because I've gotten out of the way and I've allowed it. I got out of its way and I allowed it to come through. And that's my service to myself and to humanity and to creation. Get out of the way and let the light, the life, the love, the peace, the beauty, the joy, and the power, the goodness, the kindness, and the compassion of spirit to flow through me. That's how it's done, my dear ones. That's why every person you meet and I meet and greet, I can bow to, because that light and that presence is within them and all of life, in spite of the appearance. But for that to happen, I must go beyond the appearance, mustn't I? And so must you. So the raging lunatic in front of me that's telling me this, that, and the other, that's not their truth. That's not who or what they are. They're so much more than that. And if you know it and you recognize it, all of that rage will go away. And eventually that person will not be an irritant in your life, because you know who and what they are. And eventually they will remember that too. So that's the courtesy we can pay to each other. That's what we can know about each other. And remember, it's one life, it's one world, and we're all responsible for the one life and the one world we're living in. I love this little book that I came across in a bookstore. You know when things kind of fall at your feet and they jump out at you? This is one of those books, so of course I had to get it. And I just want to share a couple of little things from it that is worth remembering. This is Anne Frank, that beautiful little girl, saying, "It's a wonder I haven't abandoned all my ideals. They seem so absurd and impractical. Yet I cling to them because I still believe, in spite of everything, that people are truly good at heart." Now, if only you and I could think as this child thought when she was in dire circumstances, hiding from the Nazis, etc., life would be different. People are good at heart. And that's why, as we go into celebrating the 4th of July, and for me it's just an opportunity to give thanks for my family and friends here in this great United States of America, and to appreciate how families here gather and celebrate family life and living and enjoy all of the benefits that this country has to offer. This 4th of July, I'll be thinking of all of those people especially who are not yet in that position to be able to enjoy all the benefits of our land. And yet, that is our land's promise. And because I know from traveling throughout so many states that the people in the United States of America are a rainbow of cultures. And they are the salt of the earth. That's been my experience. Decent, honest to God, down-to-earth people who are very helpful and who are very kind. Those are the people I've met in all walks of life as I've gone through the states. My ideal is to visit all the states, but unfortunately I keep going back to the ones I really love, but I'll get there. So I feel very good about this country because it's the people I'm equating the country with, and the country's beauty and its grace. And I love learning as I go around the cultures of the indigenous people, because there are cultures within cultures, and their wisdom and their grace and their graciousness and their peacefulness. And it's astounding. My goodness, it is astounding. So you're astounding, and I'm going to leave it at that, because you are the point of light, the point of power through which the infinite itself, its presence and its power radiates through your point of light in all of its amazing power and magnificence, if y'all let it out. So just let it out. So let your great light shine, because there's no little light in you. It's potent and powerful and big and huge, and it's more than you might imagine. So we could do with the warmth of your light just now, the love of your light just now, you know, the peace of your light just now. We could really do with that. And I'm grateful to you for being a member of this community. And for anybody who's joined in for the first time, we're delighted you found us. And we're very quick to include people in our family, and everybody is welcome within our family. We are an intercultural spiritual community. Everybody is welcome. Those of faith, different faiths, and those who have no faith at all. Everybody's welcome, because we know everybody is spirit in action, in human form. So, my dear ones, enjoy the rest of your day, have a great July, and celebrate your graciousness and everybody else's for the 4th of July. And of course, before we'll bring Reverend Catherine on again to do the announcements, we will conclude this part of our time together with our celebration of our fullness and our plenty and the beautiful opportunity to share from it, to take our daily bread, bless it, and share from it. So this is what I'm knowing right now. That divine love consecrates my gift, that it goes forth to heal, to bless, to prosper all those who give and all those who receive and all life's children everywhere. So I rejoice in the sharing of my good and I release my gift with gratitude, thanksgiving, and love. And so it is. Can't wait to be with you in what other way we can be together next time. In the meantime, remember, you are the spot where God shows up. Isn't that wonderful to know? See you next time. And I want to say a very gracious and wonderful, heartfelt thank you to those of you who are bringing in food items that we help distribute here. There's one lady in particular, she's awesome. But anyway, thank you for that. And if someone else is listening who might be able to do that, you just take your supplies here to the center, you ring the bell, someone will come out, you just leave them at the door, and we'll come out and we'll pick them up and take them in because they're making a big difference. We're helping to feed people who really are having a tough time at the moment. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And for all the good you're doing that we don't know about, thank you. Have a blessed and beautiful day. Thank you.